I was doing a little reading this morning and I came across a very simple yet powerful thought. And this thought is something that we've heard in 1,000 different ways, 1,000 different times, you know? But you have to remember something. Even though some of us have been on this journey of self-fulfillment and self-discovery for so long, we think that we've heard it all. You have to remember that there's a reason why some of these things are old information. You know, that you have to realize there's a reason why you've heard something 1,000 times, because y'all know my philosophy when it comes to the word truth. The truth doesn't change, right? In my own personal description, I say that there's a lowercase t truth and a capital T truth. Your lowercase t truths are, you know, the ones that grow with you. They grow with you. You know, you think that, I don't know, you think that orange juice is the best juice in the world, but then you get older and older, then you like grape juice. You get older and older, then you like tomato juice. Right? So that's the lowercase t truth. It is true, but it's true for you. The capital T truth is the universal truth. No matter what you believe, no matter what you studied, no matter where you live, there is a commonality in all things in nature, right? So the thing that I found that hasn't changed yet is love needs to be applied to everything. And like what the thought said in the book is, you know, very simple, and I'm paraphrasing, but pretty much something along the lines of like work only becomes hard work when there's no love being applied to whatever it is that you're doing, right? Let's use a very literal example, right? Relationships. Now, I know we all have our different experiences with relationships. Some of us have been some very toxic things. Some of us have had nothing but great experiences, right? But what you need to realize is when you enter into a relationship is so-called, as the adults have told us, hard work. And it is. You have to deal with somebody's emotions. They're no longer a picture on Tinder. You know what I'm saying? They're a real person with real feelings, and their lowercase t truths are growing and molding and adapting to you as you guys are figuring each other out to see if you want to go the distance, right? And in every long-term relationship, I know some of y'all don't know nothing about long-term relationships. You know, if it goes longer than a month, you get bored. You know what I'm saying? But for those of you that have experienced long-term relationships, the honeymoon phase ends at some point. The honeymoon phase, for those of you that live under a rock, is just like when everything is perfect. You and your partner can do no wrong in each other's eyes. It's all just sunshine and rainbows. You know what I'm saying? But there's going to come that point where, okay, the honeymoon phase is going to wear off and you're going to have to, you know, address some of the things that you don't quite like about your partner, right? This is where the hard work comes in. But here's a difference. This is where things get toxic. Once again, you can apply your energies. You can apply love in the wrong ways, in the wrong means, in the wrong methods, right? You can apply your love. Even though you love this person, you want to change them. No, I don't want you to wear that anymore. I don't want you to say stuff like that anymore. I don't want you to do stuff like that anymore. I don't want you to do. And there's a difference between like giving advice and, you know, things that, look, I know I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to guide you. And there's a difference between trying to literally control and like mix and match them like a GTA character, like a Sims character. You know what I'm saying? Nope, can't wear that, change that, do this. And they have no say in their own life anymore, because now that you're in a relationship, you can now control them. Does that even make sense? You see? This is actually, quick sidebar, this is something I've talked about before, but like this is actually one of my personal issues in the dating world. It's like I have so much information. I learn, I research, I dedicate myself to enriching my mind. So when I have a partner that doesn't necessarily know everything I'm on, okay, yeah, you eating them Skittles. Yeah, you drinking that drink. Yeah, you're smoking that. Yeah, you're doing that. Yeah, I get you, but there's another layer to what you're doing. And I'm trying to prepare you. That's why like that's been one of my biggest difficulties in the dating world. It's just like, yo, fam, like I know too much. And if you're not even going to bother listening to what I have to say, we ain't going to make it too far, you know, because at some point I'm going to need you to be here, you know, but if you ain't ready to listen to me now, don't even worry about it. I'm not going to change you. You keep on living your life. You feel me? So you go on about your day, right? But back on topic, you know, it's just like there's that point where, you know, you're directing things and it's not coming from a place of love. It's coming from a place of control. It's coming from a place of fear, because, you know, the opposite of love is not hate. Hate is only a byproduct of the true opposite of love, which is fear. Now, I'm not saying like fear, like, oh my God, but think about it like this. We'll stay on the topic of relationships before I go off. You know, like, how many of you, speaking to young men, young ladies of the world, how many of you have had a crush on a young lady, young man, whoever, and you never vocalized your feelings towards them, right? That's not necessarily like fear, like screaming and, oh my God, I have to vocalize my thoughts to somebody. But there's that resistance. There's that hesitation. Why? Because fear is like what people like, they mistake the hatred, the resistance, all that type of stuff. Those negative words, those are all a byproduct of fear. Because why didn't you ask that guy or that girl out, right? Why didn't you ask for that promotion? Why didn't you check that person that disrespected you in that meeting or at that hangout or that party? The fear of rejection mainly. What if he or she doesn't like me? What if they think I'm asking too much and they fire me? Look at all the thoughts that come up. Are those coming from a place of love or a place of fear? Right? Another example where you need to apply love in what you do is building a business, hard work, right? Now, I'm not saying that, hard work means you're living in a state of fear and, you have no love for what you're doing. That's not what I'm saying. But, there is that old adage, work smarter, not harder. But some people think that it's work harder, not smarter. That makes no sense. Why would you work 60 hours on something that I could do in an hour? You know what I'm saying? Why would you think you're worth as much as me? You're actually more costly to companies if you take more time to do something. So I'm going to work more hours. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show them. No, you might be costing the company money. If I could do what you do in an hour, I'm working smarter. However, there's a difference that that's like another side of my brain. My brain was going off, bringing it back. But, like, for example, you ever seen like a content creator and content creator, like whether that's on YouTube, Twitter, which is X now, but let's see, I got all these dogs barking, but it's like Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. And they always say, oh, thank you so much, guys. Make sure you subscribe to all of my social medias. Make sure you do this and blah, blah, blah. And when they thank you, you don't even register it. You just hear it as noise before they start talking about what they're talking about or another post on their Twitter feed or Instagram feed. You know what I'm saying? And there's a difference between someone really breaks down their thoughts and they're thanking you and thanking their community. See, what happens is, and this is why I always make the parallels with the red pill manosphere community. A lot of people start off with good intentions, right? They start off wanting to, maybe they just want to get their name out there. There's nothing wrong with that. But then people start clout chasing, and their love has been directed towards a different aim that they originally set out for. Or they set out like a lot of us spiritual people. I know I talk my shit. I know I've gone off the rails multiple times, but a lot of us, it's we want to prove how much, a lot of the things I've noticed in the spiritual/conscious community is that we want to prove how much smarter we are than you. We want to show how much more powerful we are than you. We want to show how much more influence we have over you. We want to prove how much better we are than you, And once again, you start off wanting to educate the world, show people another way of living. But then if you've experienced anything like me, you got kind of jaded by it. You learn so much. You've seen so many different things. You've seen behind the veil that nothing else looks right to you anymore. And you almost start to become remorseful, cold, and bitter to the people that don't know what you know. You see how that love can start to deviate? You started off wanting to speak a message, but now you started to you started to deviate from your original goal. You see what I'm saying? I say all that to say is that a lot of these entities, these companies, these corporations, these websites, these podcasts, these whatever, they started off saying, oh, I have a bunch of information. Wow, I found myself to be very entertaining. But then they lose the love for it. To this day, I still like basketball. If a ball rolls my way and there's an open hoop, I'm going to take a couple shots, But my love for basketball completely changed, It was a lowercase L love, a lowercase T temporary truth of my life that basketball was my one and only love. But then, when I got injured, it actually put things into perspective for me that there's more in my life. There's more in my life than basketball. I was a balls life type of an individual, but then it was just maybe that's not my truth. Maybe that's not where I should be directing all of my love energies, right? When you start to do that and you start to lose the love for things, people can see that you don't have a passion anymore. They can feel it. You might think that you're hiding it. You might think that you use the same thumbnails, the same things that got all the clicks, the same things that garnered all of that, not interaction. I can't think of the word right now on social medias, but engagement. The thing that garnered all that engagement that you were once doing, now it almost feels played out. This is why I take so many breaks on YouTube. This is why I never put myself on a schedule, because this is a hobby. Like I've said many times, this is practice for me. But for some people, it becomes a business. Don't get me wrong. It's like like in the gaming world, they call them or like in any field, but like especially in gaming, like, they call it like a true passion project. You're making this game, yes, because you love gaming. You love making games, and yes, you like to make a little bread for your efforts. You like to make a little money for your efforts. You sell the game, right? But you can tell where some people, like, they introduce a whole new world, a whole new lore. They listen to their community because it's a passion project. Passion is a byproduct of love. You see what I'm saying? So you could tell, dang, this game thought of everything. Dang, this book thought of everything. Oh my gosh, I was thinking the same thing. Man, the author really put their heart and soul into this. Man, that musician really, you could they ain't playing the instrument, they're speaking through it. And the instrument is just their translator, if you will. That comedian, he had me crying. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes when you could, like, I've seen, like, I remember back in the day, speaking of comedians, y'all know I watch a lot of stand-up comedy. That's why I'm very good at articulating my thoughts. But, like, it was a Mike Epps. And there was, like, this performance where I was just stone-faced the entire time. I was just like, why? Now, I'm not saying he doesn't love what he does or anything like that, but he was so drunk off his ass. Like, he was, you know what I'm saying? I was like, no, you're drunk, my guy. You're giving a whole stand-up right now, and you're drunk. Now, I do believe this is not any reflection of him. I'm just speaking generally. Like, when people need alcohol, when people need drugs for anything, that just shows a lack of love for yourself. I don't even care if it's just weed. Yeah, it's herb, man. Yeah, it's herb. It comes from the... Yeah, okay. Y'all only care about natural shit when it's weed. That's crazy. You're going to talk about how natural weed is, but then you're going to go drink a Monster Energy drink. That makes no sense to me. But, it's like, I be seeing this type of stuff, and I just be like, yo, fam, if you need it, then you're showing that you don't have some type of natural love from your own body. Weed helps. I will even go as far as to say alcohol helps. But it should not be your crutch. It should not be your device that says, like, oh, I can only have fun when I drink. I can only be around certain people when I smoke. And that means you don't love that individual. Apply everything to your girlfriend, to your boyfriend, or whatever. Do you need to be drunk or high around them? You can't tolerate them unless you have some type of external substance in your body. The love isn't emitting from you. You have to ingest the love so you can regurgitate it in the time that you are feeling the high, if you will. I guess the down with alcohol because it's technically a depressant. But you know what I'm saying. When you're feeling the effects of that substance, you can only love them when you have this temporary fix. Then you don't really love that person. You don't really love that music. You don't really love that thing that you need those drugs for. And it's not even drugs, just the crutches in life. For me, I found out basketball was one of my crutches. It was going to be that thing I always relied on. And when I had no basketball in my life, I realized I didn't know what to do. So I took one thing away, and my life had no meaning anymore. That is when I was truly in a time where I did not love myself. Right? As I've been very open about. I messed up a whole relationship. There was nothing wrong with it. But guess what? I didn't love myself. So I didn't feel deserving of what I had been blessed with. You see? This is what happens when you move without love. That's how you hurt yourself. You know what I'm saying? Literally, physically, mentally, and emotionally. If you don't love yourself, you're going to do those bad things. You know what I'm saying? Or you're going to do drugs to cope. Or you're going to, I guess, mentally/physically, you're going to project on other people. When they have what you have or have what you want, or they have something that you lost, or something that you think is stupid, you have to vocalize your opinion. You gotta say stupid stuff on the internet that you'll never say to someone in real life. Or you'll pick a fight out of your weight class. I'm not saying you should be scared of someone that's bigger than you, blah, 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 but like, know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, fist fights in real life are indeed life or death, so close your mouth. You know what I'm saying? But if you're operating from a place of love, these things wouldn't bother you, even if there's something that you're not interested in, even if it's something that you don't personally like. If you're operating from a place of love, then you just say, okay, do what you do. You know what I'm saying? When the passion disappears from what you do, it's a useless act. When you operate from a state of fear, that hatred, that anxiety, that nervousness, that resistance, you have to say, what am I fearful of? Ask yourself that basic question. What am I fearful of? Did you start that company? Did you start that book? Did you start that weight loss journey? Did you start your own YouTube channel? Did you start this? Did you do that? Did you do this? No. Why? Oh, I never got around to it. Oh, no. This goes back to an old saying where People make time for the things that they want. And typically you want things that you really, really like. Or for some of you like car enthusiasts, things that you really, really love. So if you're not going to make any time for whatever it is that you want so bad, that you love so much, do you really love it? Well, I do love it. I just don't have the time. If you truly love it, you'll make the time. You know, we got a whole bunch of deadbeat ass parents out here, you know, that love their kids, but haven't been to one recital, haven't been to one basketball game, haven't been to one football game, haven't been there to support them when they were lost and confused. But you love your child? I don't give a damn if I'm about to make a $2 billion deal. If my child says that, yeah, they got hurt at school or they need me, they call me crying on the phone, I don't give a flying fuck what we were doing. My child needs me. And I'm stopping. I don't have a kid yet, but this is, you can tell how real it is in my head. One day that's going to come to fruition. Like, I'm going to stop everything I do because I love that child. I love that child so damn much, I will sacrifice myself for them. Shit, most random kids, like if I see a random kid in trouble, I'll probably die for that child because children are our future. And the greatest act of love is to sacrifice yourself for them. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how I see it. And you tell me that you don't have no time for that business, that book, that thing, all these things that you love so much, and you tell me you can't make not 30 minutes a day for it? You telling me you couldn't put a day out of the week towards it? A week out of the month towards it? A month out of the year towards it? Then you don't love it, bro. It just interests you. And just keep it at that. Don't lie to yourself. But if you truly do love it, you'll make the time. Oh, you don't? You don't think so? Okay. Let's say it like this. If you go work out for 15 minutes today, I'll give you $1 million. Oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be on it. You know what I'm saying? Because you really wanted that money. You really needed something out of this. You needed something to motivate you to get there. You know what I'm saying? But you'll make time for the things that you want. And they say the love of money is the root of all evil. So if I could bribe you with money like that, what else can I bribe you to do? You know what I'm saying? So don't love money. There's nothing wrong with money, but don't love it. Don't do anything for it. Make sure you're applying your love to the right places, the right things. You know? And also be real with yourself. From time to time, something that you think you love so much, ask yourself, do you truly love this? You know? Do you truly love this? Is the love coming from you, or is this from the thing, you know, I guess it's a mutual exchange, but is the love emanating from you, or is it because this thing is around that you love it? It's convenient to love it. You see what I'm saying? When you make these businesses, when you make these platforms, when you make these moves in life, whether they're external or internal, you have to do them all with love. Hell, let's get on the spiritual things. I always usually leave the spiritual stuff for the end because that's attention span of people. But, you know, in the spiritual stuff, you know, there's certain words that scare other people, you know, like witches, witchcraft, and that type of stuff. That don't scare me. Most of the witches in life were healers. You know what I'm saying? But they were just doing extraordinary feats, and the governments of the time, to like today, some things don't change, you know, but the governments of the day didn't like these people healing people. They didn't like them doing things that science hadn't yet discovered yet. I mean, all of it's been discovered, but you know what I'm saying. You know? So witches and warlocks and all this type of stuff have a negative connotation, but I just truly do believe that it's what's your intent of what you're doing. Are you doing your voodoo, hoodoo? Are you doing your incantations? Are you doing blah, 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 your spell work and casting and sacrifices, whatever? Are you doing them for malevolent intent, or are you doing it for the benefit of the world? Now, I know that could be subjective based off of who's talking and whatever, but really, do you love the people that you're serving? Do you love the people that you're serving? AKA, are you serving other people? Are you serving yourself? You know what I'm saying? In a beneficial way? Or are you doing it to get back at that person that cut you off on the highway today? Are you using your magic and your special abilities to wreak havoc on the world because someone pissed you off today? You know what I'm saying? You can manifest in the negative. You can love the things that are bad for you, right? You can so-called love drugs. You can love this. You can love hurting people. You can love this. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to manifestation, you have to realize that everything is a frequency. And if you are manifesting from a place of lack, then that's what you will attract. If you're manifesting from a place of hatred, that hatred will return to you. If you're manifesting in anything malevolent, especially if the person doesn't accept that energy, it's just going to return to you multiplied. That's why it's safer to move in love. You know, it could be condescending, and I have a different video on that. But it's like, you can manifest for people. You don't have to tell them that you're doing it. Just do it. Manifest for them in a place of love. I don't like seeing them suffer like that. I see them successful. I see them happy. I see them this, and you don't even have to tell them, because I had spiritual attacks sent my way from these videos. Where it's like people, these low-level people took personal offense to something I was just saying out there into the ethers. But they took it personally, and they wanted to send me attacks. How'd that work out for you? But nevertheless, man, it's like I move from a place of love. That's why all the hatred and bad energies you send me, they don't mess with me. I can acknowledge them. I can feel them, like boom, but it just bounces off of me. Ow, that was lame. Could you take that back? Return the sender. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's just how it is, because I live in a state of love. Love is one of, if not the highest vibration that we can operate on this planet. And we still are babies where we don't even understand the true levels of love yet. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, man, study love. If you're feeling tired, angry, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're tired of being passed over, you're tired of this, tired of that, tired of this, tired of that, get your mind right. Get your frequency right. If you're experiencing all this, that means that you are only experiencing the thought form that's been festering, growing, and spreading in your mind. So if you're experiencing a world of lack, that's your world, bro. I hate to break it to you, but that's on you. It's up to you to fix it. How do you do that? You just do the opposite. And understand that you've been running a freight train that's been going wild in the negative direction. So it's going to take a little bit of effort. It's going to take some quote, I'm not going to say hard work, but you know what I'm saying? It's going to take some quote, hard work to get that train to start moving in the other direction. Trains have a lot of momentum. I've used this analogy a lot. So it's not just going to snap and you snap your fingers and you're just going to be like experiencing a world of bliss. No, you have a lot of bad habits, a lot of bad mental habits that have been plaguing you, and you have to fix them, So apply love to everything and live a prosperous life. To the next one.